We all know is a very special day for all Americans. But to those of us who are veterans ourselves, it has a very special and added meaning. Memories come back of families and old brotherhoods, of distant days and places from the past. Some of those friends are still with us, sharing in the challenges of peace today, just as they did their duty in wartime. Others we shall never see again. But we carry on the legacy of their spirits and commitment to a cause that was much greater than themselves. We are all here today, and we are all free today, because for over 200 years, whenever freedom has been threatened or our values have been trodden upon, valiant men and women have answered the call of their country in that time of need. From all branches of the services, they risked and even gave their lives defending this great nation. We owe more than we can ever repay to the veterans of all wars in which they have been involved. And all those simple words will always fail to express our deepest gratitude. We can do more so by living the values that they upheld every single day. So today, let us be united for peace. Let us also be united against defeat. Let us stand in agreement in honoring the character, courage, and commitment of our nation's veterans. Steadfast, unwavering, invaluable. Semper Fi, and God bless America.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Veterans, on behalf of the student staff and administration of all our community schools, we would like to welcome you to our 2024 Veterans Day Assembly. Today, I probably mentioned this before, but today kind of gives me a little bit of all kinds of emotions. I think I've told this story, but I grew up in a military family. My dad served in Vietnam. His duties there were to, he was a helicopter gunship pilot. He flew Hueys, and then at the end of his term, Cobras. Returned back to the States. We landed in Fort Rucker, Alabama, where he finished out his duty as an instructor pilot. I was born there, actually, at that hospital. Then we returned back to Nebraska to be closer to family. And throughout my life, I've had all of these experiences that revolved around the military. I remember, my dad, he was gone a lot because he stayed active. He was an instructor pilot on the weekends. He went to summer camp every 2 weeks in the summer. And I remember that's when my wife would pilot my young sister and I into this two-door little Volkswagen Diesel Rabbit. We would drive off the Air Force Base because we were able to at that time, and we would clean out the grocery store in the PX for all of our clothing and grocery needs, and we would throw those in a car that was meant for about 3 bags of groceries, and we usually had 20. So I would ride home with my sister on my lap, trying to make it, of course, before seatbelt laws and everything else. But some other great experiences, I remember my dad, I would visit him sometimes at the hangar because he was gone so much. One time he took me to Offutt Air Force Base. We were going to watch the air show. And just so happened that his ambulance group, or his med company, was running the ambulance services for the air show in case there was need. And we just happened to be able to hop the fence, so I got to watch the Thunderbird sitting in the Huey out in front of the crowd for about 3/4 of the air show. That was until the MP showed up, figuring it wasn't really military, so I had to go back. But no, the greatest experiences that I remember with my dad were whenever he would always be around our area. He flew out of Lincoln, and our home in Pawnee City was close enough that occasionally he could come over and buzz our house, and if he had the right crew, he might even stop and give his 10-year-old son a ride sometimes. And so that's something that I will always cherish and forget, and hopefully the statute of limitations have ran out and he's not going to get any trouble for that. But I bring all that forward to you today because I think as I reflect on Veterans Day, probably the most important thing my dad did for me is that he taught me respect. He taught me respect for our country, for our flag, and for our servicemen and women and their sacrifices for our country. So really, I think he's the one who helped to instill that sense of patriotism and honor within me. And for that, I will be forever grateful. So today, veterans, I guess my thoughts are, we have two main goals today, and that's first and foremost that we want to honor you for your service and sacrifice to our country. The second that I feel that we really need to do is, as a community, as a school, I think it's our job to continue to promote that patriotism, that respect for country, flag, and honor of our servicemen and women, that we continue to do that. I think that's part of our job, so that's twofold. So kind of to conclude, veterans, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for your service and for your sacrifices. I am so happy that you could be here with us today, and God bless. Thank you so much for your service. Now, I'm going to ask if everyone would please rise for the presentation of our colors by Senior Colin Sticky. Now, if you'd all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the And if you would please remain standing as the band from GACC and West Point Public Schools play our national anthem. You may be seated.